The New York Times has run this headline, so we have to lead with it. Trump flirts with the ultimate tax cut, no income taxes at all. Woo. The former president has repeatedly praised a period in American history when there was no income tax and the country relied on tariffs to fund the government. I love this because we're 12 days out from the election day. Votes are coming in right now. Republicans, I think, in North Carolina have already taken the lead in absentee ballot returns, which indicates they're winning and likely going to win the state. And the New York Times is like, what can we do to make sure that everyone everywhere votes for Donald Trump? And they said, let's say that Donald Trump wants to eliminate the income tax. And that's what they wrote. You've got this also from CNBC.com. Trump tax plan could exempt 93 million Americans from income taxes. Okay, I can only vote for the guy one time. You don't need to sell me on voting for him again. But is there anyone in this room who would be opposed to eliminating the income tax?
No, not looking good for Chase Oliver, though. That just sunk his campaign.
Will you get out libertarian by Donald Trump?
Yeah, Chase Oliver's banging the table right now. Be like, what?
That's the
my thing.
My thing.
I would not say no to this. I just am wondering how it's going to work.
I don't think it will.
Oh, I knew Ian was going to be like, I like the income tax.
Yeah, we
he said yes.
No, I like, but like Phil said, it would make the government recalibrate and stop spending so much because they'd have to take.
If they don't have the Federal Reserve and the income tax to manage inflation, because that's all the income tax is for. The idea that people have in their head that we take tax money in to pay for things, that's completely wrong. When the government wants, because the government has the printer and the Federal Reserve prints money for us, the income tax is just a means of taking money out of the system to help control inflation. There's two ways that they control inflation: taxation and by changing the interest rate. So if they print too much money, they just raise taxes to take the money out of the system. If you take away their ability to print money endlessly, then you have to end the foreign wars, the foreign expansionism, all of the times that the government decides we're going to put this policy into place, which essentially is a way to buy people's any kind of service that they offer. So free healthcare, we're going to give college students money. We're going to do all this. All of this is buying votes. It's the government saying we're going to give you this, and the hope is this group, this special interest group, they will go ahead and they'll vote for us. And that's what the government does. They print money, give it to people, hoping that they'll vote for whichever person implemented the thing. So it takes that power away, and it'll make the government, hopefully, in theory, it'll make the government more accountable to a more restrained economic policy.
It also incentivizes international trade, which I think is very interesting.
But this is getting offset with the tariffs, from what I understand.
Yes.
He's like, we're going to be charging all these tariffs. But like I looked it up before, there's probably there's tens of millions of Americans who don't pay any income tax because they fall under the threshold.
Yep.
And the tariffs are going to increase the cost of everything they buy. So unless Trump...
It's not going to increase the cost of everything.
Well, anything that has a tariff on it, unless Trump can negotiate
products.
with the... What's that?
Imported products.
And
Imported
also,
products. But
there are currently
So your milk, bread, and eggs are fine.
well, there'll be a temporary period where you have to start firing up factories in this country to make the things that...
So that will improve the economy.
There are-
Wages will
in the
go
long
up.
run, but there will be a tremendous amount of pain short term.
there would be
would be my guess anyway.
there would be stuff that has to be sorted out. But if you have like things that are produced in the United States, prices would ostensibly go down. You would have you would have companies incentivized to produce things here in the U.S. as opposed to sending them overseas. And currently, there's tariffs and stuff on any number of products. There's not that like there's no tariffs or anything that are.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff, and you can negotiate, right?
Yeah.
Like
so
with
it's
other
not
countries.
like oh, we're going to get rid of income tax and there's no tariffs and we're going to put tariffs on everything and then everything is going to change. There's already tariffs. It's not like it's some brand new thing that we don't have.
No, Trump invented it.
But I mean, there's already tariffs. So as much as there are going to be people that are going to be affected by it, and it's going to cause distortions in the market, and there's going to be things that have to kind of settle down. If it is implemented, it's not like it's not like it'll be something that we don't have experience with because there are tariffs here.
Yeah.
And right now what did you say? There's how many people that don't pay?
I think I read that 60 million people paid less than 1.5% income tax, which is essentially
Those
zero.
people don't pay any kind of net income tax either, because they get that money.
Yeah,
back
that's what
and
I'm
they get
saying.
Benefits.
Yeah,
so there's probably I think it's less than 50% of the people.
40% of U.S. households do not pay income tax in these United States.
There you go. So that's a lot of people where you're like, I mean, a lot of items will go up in price, like especially
Like, which ones?
anything that has like if he says I'm going to slap a tariff on aluminum or steel, right? Anything that's made with aluminum or steel, the price.
But that's saying we don't source aluminum or steel in our own country.
Yeah, and part of
the purpose of the tariff is so that we bring those jobs back.
No,
here.
I understand that. I'm saying you can't do that like snap a finger. Like you could say in 10 years from now, we'll have that all set up, but I don't think you can do that.
I understand your point.
But they could also just print a bunch of money.
But he's not running it. So you know what he should do? Just his first year, he should just do it, and then we'll have a little dip, and then it'll spike.
Or
back
like
up
do
really
it
high.
over a 5-year period where every year there's a reduction and then it scales.
Plus, he's
up
not
as
trying to
the
be
factories
president
get
again.
pumped.
So
Right. So he's going to come in and be like, "No, I'm fixing
so hate
this."
me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know that he could handle being hated, though. That's why. But for real, he puts his name in gold letters on the top of buildings.
I mean, I was saying this to you before. Like, obviously, I'm not from America. I followed American politics, but I don't ever remember
I don't think it's
leading
obvious you're
up
not
to an election like this close, where all these people are just tabling all these crazy ideas
It's
that
so
they had
great.
not said before.
Remember when? So Trump is like, "No tax on tips," and then Kamala goes, "No tax on tips," and then Trump was like, "No tax on Social Security," and she's like, "I'll forgive all of your debt." And JD Vance is like $5,000 tax credit per child, and she goes $6,000 tax credit.
It's like an
per child.
auction.
And then Trump is like, "No more taxes."
That's crazy, though.
It's like an auction.
From what I recall, it used to be like, this is my platform. This is what I'm running on, and we're going to take this to the end.
Conceptually,
I'm stoked. I hope Kamala goes nuts.
She
and
has
says,
to.
We're going to get rid of all taxes and give you from the government coffers. And then Trump is just like, we're going to completely dismantle government. Everyone's fired. And then I vacate the presidency. There's no politicians left.
Yeah. I mean, she's literally like, no taxes, and he's Hitler.
You know,
and then next week, he's Mussolini, too.
but what's funny is the direction they're going is basically they are competing with dismantling government.
Yeah.
yes, this is a
this is what
win-win for
people
the
want.
yeah. This is a win-win for the American population.
The libertarians are doing the Randy Marsh meme at the computer.
I think
true.
Angela McArdle is secretly orchestrating everything that's going on.
I mean, he's going to put a libertarian in the cabinet somewhere, which would be wonderful. The idea that he wants to get rid of the bureaucracy, that he's going to cut back on the bureaucracy, is great. If you could actually get significant, real cuts in cabinet level bureaucracies, that would be tremendous. You know, I mean, I want small government. I want it as small as we can get it. So if they're going to cut cabinet level bureaucracies down to size and roll back the administrative state, and that's one of the things that Elon Musk is talking about, because part of the problem that SpaceX is running into, it's like they had to do. Did you see the seal thing they had to do?
Oh, yeah. We have to like kidnap seals and then
Yes.
blast loud
They had to,
noises on them.
They had to kidnap seals and put earphones on them and simulate sonic booms to see if it would affect them. So that way they could get the approval from the FAA to shoot rockets.
The best part is it did not affect the seal. And apparently the seal just sat there confused, and its heart rate did not elevate or anything. It was just like nothing happened.
But one of the things that Musk has been saying is like, look, we're never going to be a society or a civilization that can reach Mars if we have to have all of these regulations. One of the things that Musk has caught hell for is that people used to make fun of him because all his rockets would explode, but he was going on 5 different iterations of the rockets, and he would learn from each one that blew up. So the first few of them would blow up, but then the third one would go, and then it would have a small problem, but it wouldn't be a RUD, right? It would wrap it on a RUD.
Now he's catching him with the chopsticks.
Yeah, but the point is, like, Boeing has done almost nothing to talk about. They're so slow, and that's because they're not taking big risks, and they're not pushing the way that Musk is. One of the things that Musk wants is he's like, look, I need the federal government to take the shackles off so I can experiment and I can push push the technology as far and as fast as it can. And I personally think that part of the reason why you had massive innovation in the United States leading up until about the 70s, right? We had significant innovation from basically the beginning of the Industrial Revolution until about the 70s or 80s, is because the administrative state and the bureaucracy and the regulations were significantly less than they are now, and people were allowed to try things and make mistakes.
I'm just thinking how funny it is that there's like some alien and he's complaining to his customers, like, look, the government is making me abduct these guys and stick probes up their ass. We don't want to do it, but they make us do it to simulate anti-gravity.
And then we're doing it to the SEALs. It's
Exactly.
basically the same stuff.
I'm thinking about
Like you're a SEAL minding your own business and with your homies, and then like a crane grabs you out of the water, and you're like, what's happening?
headphones.
And when you come back, like nobody believes you.
Yeah, you're like, they made me listen to just loud noises. I don't really
What
get
are
it.
you
Grow
talking about?
grows
This
a
makes no
beard.
sense.
The income tax thing, though, too, is, with the national or the debt like constantly increasing and the cost to service it, like the taxes can't go any higher, right?
Well, yeah,
Like,
they can.
You think they can go much above
There,
50%?
there are people. Well, first of all,
They're basically above it. They're literally
But I'm saying,
above
do you
50.
think there's really that much margin?
there was a
for them to go
time.
higher at
There
this
was a
point?
time in the 50s, between the 50s and like the 80s, when the top marginal tax rate was like 90%. Now nobody,
90? Really?
yeah, nobody paid it. Like there was tons of ways for you to get out of or get around it, and that's what ends up happening. But the Laffer curve says that there's a certain amount of taxation that you
yeah.
can do, and everything before that you get diminished returns.
And don't forget, income. What's you're Canadian? What's your income tax in Canada?
I mean, it's in Ontario, it was about the same as what I pay in New York City, which is like close to,
Half.
yeah.
So don't forget, you've also got sales tax.
Yeah.
So now add another percentage to everything you buy. It says $1. It's $1.10 now. Then you've got property taxes. Then you've got gas taxes. So all in all, you're probably spending 60-70% of your income in taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm just saying, like, eventually they're going to get to the point where the income tax is just going to cover the debt, like the debt repayments.
Yeah.
On
The interest.
Just the interest. Yeah.
Oh, dude, we're facing collapse because the U.S. government is barely able to cover the interest on the debt they owe. So the U.S. government basically most of the debt is owed to the American people. The U.S. government says, we need to implement a project, so we're going to accrue a bunch of debt from various companies, individuals, contracts, bonds, etc. And then they have to tax everybody to try and pay it back after. They're basically just saying, I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah.
And eventually it's like, bro, your debt sheet is like 50 hamburgers. And it's like, just need more people to come in that I can tax a hamburger from to pay you back.
I mean, it's crazy.
So they open the border, let everybody come in so they can desperately increase the tax base.
Yeah, and lower wages, I guess. I don't know. It seems to go up, what? It's like $1 trillion a month or something right now?
Right now, the debt is $1 trillion, is increasing $1 trillion a year.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.